Happy holidays, as the British might say. How is everybody this Labor Day weekend? Labor Day. I think we're broadcasting on both Mr. Thrive and Survive and Wake the Republic. If you're on the Mr. Thrive and Survive site, I would suggest, if you haven't already, make sure, the link is in the description, make sure you sign up to Wake the Republic. Mr. Thrive and Survive was taken down for a week again, or approximately a week if we're up even. And so try to get used to coming over to Wake the Republic, because even Wake the Republic is under attack. I think I mentioned it near the end of the last stream. When I went to open up something, it said your video has been taken down. It was DS update. You know what DS stands for. And the reason was misinformation. It was a 3-hour stream. So I wrote back, I challenged it. I said, this is a 3-hour video. What is misinformation? They don't even tell you. They just, what it is somebody is attacking they're just going and reporting, saying there's misinformation in this video. Nobody at YouTube is sitting there listening to 3 hours of me talking. So I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Mark Harris, Land Shark, Bonnie Gilbert, hello. Lies Exposed, Mark Harris, hello Mark. T-Mass, Michael B. Yukon Flat, I'll answer your question in a second. Christopher, Mark Harris, Tall now. Oh, that's good. Teletol now. Iron, hello, Iron FE. Okabe, hello. Greg F. Anna, the Evangelista. Stanley, hello, Stanley. Good to have you. Focal shift and never mind. So I asked the question for this video: what has killed the most people? And I had a picture of war. I had a picture of cancer. I had a picture of a heart attack, and I had a picture of accidents. But actually, it's sort of a trick question, because what has really killed more than anybody else, and we're going to talk about this, not directly necessarily, you might have to read between the lines, but more than anything else, the love of this right there has killed more people than anything else. And it's what wars are made of also. You guys know that. My son, Michael, who was on here, he just tested positive for COVID-19. He's at home. He's actually on IV fluids at home. He traveled to Montana not feeling well, there and back. And I think the pressure changes always make you do worse. And anyway, he doesn't work out anywhere outside the house. He hasn't left the house. All he has done is his job, which he helps move people. And he's required to wear a mask for that. So my question is, how did he get it? Just a question. I was there. I took some colloidal silver over there, so I exposed myself. I am having some symptoms, but it's no big deal. But if I'm not here in 2 days, then maybe I'm not feeling too well, just to let you know. But right now I'm doing pretty good. I'm taking enough vitamin D and zinc, and especially oregano oil and sublingual colloidal silver to kill a moose. So we'll see how that goes. What I wanted to talk about with that in particular was, speaking about money. Now, remember, always go by CDC guidelines, always. He had a telehealth visit with a doctor, and the doctor prescribed a Z-Pack, some other drug, and wow, it went right out of my head. What's the other one? Not HCQ. Begins with an I. Just a moment. Ivermectin. And so no problems until they got to the ivermectin. And his wife called several pharmacies, and they were like, no, we can't give that to you. We can't give that to you. One pharmacist told her, they took that away from us. You can't get it from us anymore. But he said, call a compounding pharmacy, but they're closed because of Memorial Day. So he's got to wait till tomorrow. Now, I don't know if Mike Ball's on here or not. Yeah, there he is. Thank you, Mike. Now, Mike is a heretic. Look what he sent me. He says they're trying very hard to get rid of ivermectin now, not just because it keeps them from making their billions on the vaccines. See, we got to go against this full force, right? But because it also cures cancer. India sent everyone the treatment, ivermectin, of course, in May, and they have 0 cases now. This is heretical, Mike. On the other hand, Israel is the most vaccinated nation in the world, and they have had a huge surge in COVID. In fact, I heard Israel was the worst nation right now with COVID. They just announced last week that they will be mandating a 4th vaccine shot now. Always go by CDC guidelines. Israel always has it right. Don't you know that, guys? So shame on you, Mike, for the heretical talk. Now, the question was, have I seen Simon Park's latest video? I have not seen Simon Park's latest video, unless you're talking about 5 or 6 seconds, something like that, that Mike sent me, where he and the others on there were talking about the shape of the earth, and they said it's definitely flat. So that's that. Here's some more heretical stuff. And these are just random stuff I thought would be interesting. I lost 2 or 3 of them. I thought they went to my camera roll, but they're not there. See, this says science. Oscar de la Hoya, fully vaccinated, gets COVID-19 and has to be hospitalized. Joe Rogan, not vaccinated, takes ivermectin and vitamins, beats COVID in 48 hours, tests negative by the 4th day. See, Joe Rogan needs to be shut down too. You're going against the science here and what the government approves. All right. Like I said, this stuff's going to come totally random here. See this? Limited supply. I told you at my grocery store, I could only buy 2 gallons of water because they said there was a supply shortage of water. Now, I did, as I told you last time, I did the almost unspeakable. I went into Walmart and got water because there was no limit there. It says, due to a nationwide supply chain shortages, we are currently experiencing outages of some food and beverage items. We apologize for the inconvenience. Saw this at a gas station in Salt Lake City, whoever posted this, any other Patriot Scene signs like these around, and I looked at the comments, and it was about 60-40, 60% of the people saying yes, they've run into it, 40% no. Now, most of the people on here, you're going to be very informed, and you're stocked up anyway, so it doesn't matter. But just to let you know, I've been talking about this for a while. Supply chain shortage. Supply chain is not right. This picture came in off of one of the things, and I'll tell you who that was. It says, Hillary is back with Yuma and what looks like a handler by her side. GP. I don't know who GP is. Anyway, so evidently Hillary is not in jail, and neither is Huma. This is from Code Monkey Z, dated September 5th, so yesterday. More heretical stuff. This is unbelievable. We got to stop this stuff. Australian medical practitioners may be prosecuted if they post anti-vax material online. Medical professionals, that's a good thing. Medical professionals cannot criticize science in Australia. The scientific method is dead in Australia. I got news for you. The scientific method has been dead for a long time. A long time. Since the turn of at least since the turn of the 20th century. Much less the 21st century. This next post says, Australian government is now formally denying unvaccinated people medical care. So if you're not vaccinated in Australia, you can't get medical care, as well as locking them out of participating in society. It says a virus with a 99.98% survival rate. I don't know if that number agrees with the CDC, but if it doesn't, they're wrong. And I just want to look at Ivy's intel just to see if the revaluation happened. Whoa. I can't even talk about this one, but it's planned variants of something. It's a table that gives you the release date of different variants. Delta, June of 2021. This is like sororities in college. This is what we're talking about. Lambda. It's hard to read the month. 2022. Something, it ends with an E. What month ends with an E? I don't know what this is. C and E, it looks like to me. I don't know what that is. And then we have Omega, February of 2023. Interesting. Well, I can tell you nobody's got a revaluation, and there's no update from, it was definitely happening by last week, and she said it all falls apart by the 12th because that is when the Insurrection Act runs out that Trump signed. I don't know if we can hold faith in that or not. I'm just telling you. Apparently the military is still being required to do something, and they have until the 15th. And someone brought up a good point. What if, I don't know, something happens 2-3 years down the line that we're not expecting from this, and all of a sudden our military is incapacitated because they were forced to do something? So anyway, again, these heretics got to be called out. You got to go. You got to get you just listen to them, and everything will go away. Hello, Kay. Welcome. Back to Shady Cat. Hello. Lies exposed. I love it. Hello, Michael Pyle. And Sherry, Eric H. May have missed some others. So turn that off so you don't hear that buzz anymore. I thought I had, like I said, I thought I had like 3 or 4 more stories for you, at least 2 more in my camera roll, but they're not there. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know if you can read this or not. There we go. See the subtotal, $87.50. COVID fee, $2.63. Tax, $7.55. Total $97.68. This is a receipt from Las Vegas. So Las Vegas is charging people a COVID fee. Remember that picture of the dollar I showed? More people have died from that. I'm going to start doing something too, I think. That's probably, and the COVID fee is probably to cover the plexiglass they have to put up and any other BS. I mean, any other good things that they have to do. Mark, go ahead. You can. I just got one thing to say. I'm going to. It won't happen every time, but I'm going to come up with things that don't make sense. Reasons why government sucks. Think about the logic behind this. If you have Parkinson's disease or multiple sclerosis or some of these other multiple sclerosis or Lou Gehrig's disease, that's the worst, Lou Gehrig's disease. And Parkinson's too, because this happened to my father-in-law. You eventually lose control of the muscles, either in the lungs or around the lungs or in the throat, and you slowly choke to death. It's a horrible death, and the whole time you're doing this kind of thing. And if you've ever had twitching or whatever, just imagine how horrible it would be for your whole body to be that way. So it's illegal for you to have, the government makes it so a Dr. Kevorkian who may assist in that, so that you can die with dignity and die without pain and anguish. That's against the law. But a perfectly healthy, feeling no pain baby coming out of the womb can have a needle stuck in its head and its brain sucked out legally. Partial birth abortion. This is what happens when you turn control over to other people. You get stupid stuff like that. And before Trump, you couldn't even do right to die or right to try medicines. How stupid is that? You have a disease that medical science says is going to kill you. But it's against the law for you to try something because it's experimental. Well, there's a lot of people trying stuff right now that's experimental, right? Government says one hand, oh, that's okay. That's okay. I wonder why. Why is it okay? But on the other hand, when something disappears or when there's not a lot of it there, can't do it. So, like I said, I'm going to probably start streams with that every now and then. Reasons why putting your trust in a government sucks. I don't know most of the people here are on board, but it may, when you talk to somebody else, give you some fodder for these people that just think the more government, the better. Go ahead, Mark Harris. Oh, you did. Do angels have hair? I would think not, since hair. That took me by a shock. I was not expecting anything like that. I would not think, since hair is made of dead cells and they have eternal spiritual bodies. That's a good logical point. I have no idea. However, to argue the contrary, and you might be right, I don't know. To argue the contrary, angels came to earth and gave messages to like Mary and other people, and they look like regular humans as far as we can tell. We weren't told that they were bald. So anyway, I never would have come up with that myself. So you're covering that. So when they make an appearance and take on human form in physical bodies, they may have hair so as not to look different than us. Yes. The NDE, I'm into the NDEs, near-death experiences. And I've heard people describe them with long hair, short hair, golden hair. I'm trying to remember all the different things I've heard about them. One thing that tends to stand out with all the NDEs and angels is that these people are very tall. These angels, anyway, are very tall. Yeah, bald humans still look like humans. That is true. And you don't have women angels, apparently. So fenbendazole is used on $1 million horses. That should tell us a lot. If it's good for them, $1 million horses. What is fenbendazole used for? So this is the topic of you know what's happening. I guess Mr. Thrive knows Hillary a lot more. Guess I'm missing something. Do you have something to say? Oh, okay. By the way, guys, if you're new here or you haven't been around the streams long, I miss a lot of comments. For example, me just clicking on this right now has frozen my comments. Then when I hit new comments, a ton will shoot up at once, and I'll miss all of those. It's just the way it is. Why is it okay for Rob Skiba to be in ICU while you flat earthers are ignoring the situation? I have no idea what you're even talking about. Ignoring what situation? I don't keep up with Rob Skiba, so I don't know what's going on with him. TMAS, thank you for that. I'm going to write that down, actually. Because if these symptoms get worse for me, what's the alternative? They just tell you to go home and take it easy? I don't know what the alternative is. And when you get well, get the vaccine? I don't know. I really don't know. Thanks for that, TMAS. I appreciate it. Greg F. says, I mock everyone, calling them idiots. Find some place where I call you an idiot. Yet don't want to learn from lessons. You're calling 1 to 12th grade the truth. And maybe you need to go to 1st to 12th grade to learn how to get a point across. You're calling 1 to 12th grade the truth. Makes no sense. So we've got a couple tonight. What's killed the most? Socialism, communism. Ism, period. Capitalism, communism, socialism, fascism, whatever. It all starts with control of the mind, government, handing your control over to somebody else and expecting them to treat you kindly when you've elevated them above you. And many of these people in those positions, let's say they're not the best people to start with. Maybe they were a long time ago, but not right now. You got it. You got to pull any government system. But you don't know. The true answer is you don't know. You hear about 6 million Jews killed in World War II ad nauseum. I mean, you hear it. I do anyway, because I'm a World War II buff. And over 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 and over, you'll hear it. And the same thing will cover Stalin and Russia. And maybe once, maybe twice, if it's a long enough series, it'll say, and 40 million people were executed under Stalin. That's it. They go right on to the next thing. Why? Why don't they tell what the United States did to the civilians in Iraq? Yeah, I do have my ringer off, Mike. Okay, sorry, Greg. You weren't talking to me. See, if there's not an at somebody in there, I assume it's to me. So my apologies for that. Thanks, Mike. We wish you could see the chat from the other channel. The thing is, yeah, me too. Again, the more people we can get, I don't know how many people are on what. How many people are on Wake the Republic? Because I can give you the total here in a second. If somebody can tell me how many people are currently on Wake the Republic. Hitler killed more than 6 million Jews. And how many did Stalin kill? No, we're talking about anything high vibes. Good point, Paul. I'm pretty sure the U.S. has killed more people than any other country between all of our nation building and all of the abortions. There's been a lot of stuff in the news about government involvement in peddling fetal parts. Let me just put it that way. 34 watching. See, most people on Mr. Thrive and Survive. And I'd like to get people used to going over to the other one because Thrive and Survive is one away from being gone. They don't stay wealthy off the healthy. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks for letting me know. So that means we have 100 on Mr. Thrive and Survive and roughly 35 on the other one. Abortions are worldwide? Are they? Let's see. Let's find out. What countries are abortions legal? Interesting question. Well, abortions are legal, at least under certain conditions, in almost all countries. These conditions vary widely, though. According to the United Nations report, another great entity, with data gathered up to 2019, abortion is allowed in 98% of countries in order to save a woman's life. Says typically permitting abortion only in limited situations. These are 125 countries. That's not the United States. But most European countries, it's legal. 95% of European women of reproductive age live in countries which allow abortion on demand or for broad socioeconomic reasons. 90% of European women of reproductive age live in countries. You're acting like they're putting it like these people are moving to countries because of their abortion laws. Is abortion a human right? Access to safe abortion is a matter of human rights, unless you're the baby. Hello, Maven. Planned Parenthood International. Again, what's it come down to? Harvesting different things. There you go. There you go. The unborn baby is not your body. That's true. Well, thank you, Happy Go Lucky. God bless you too. Because your body is not your body. Because you can't have assisted suicide. And until Trump, you couldn't even try an experimental anything to try to save your life. It was against the law. Just like turning over, talk about this. How about licensing for marriage? Letting the government regulate marriage. Ooh, the lawyers have made a couple dollars on this one. Divorce courts and different things like that. And remember how it started in case you didn't know. The government didn't want a black person and a white person to get married. Mississippi, maybe Missouri, I can't remember. Deep South. So they came up with the first marriage license, and they denied it to anybody who was not racially of the same type. Everything's all about power and money. I agree, Vintage, and power is all about, money and power, they're just like hand in glove. Really, one without the other doesn't really work too well. Hey, good point. Bacteria, Mark Harris. Bacteria on another planet is life, but a baby in the womb isn't. What about the bill that was signed stating that they can change DNA? That person is now property of that company. I don't even know about that, but I wouldn't doubt it. I fully agree that it probably happened. As Biden said, you just need to trust your government. So you used to hide it subliminally, right? We've looked at that where in the national anthem, you used to put it, oh, say, can you see? And then it would subliminally switch to trust the government. Now they just come right out and say it. Let's see if I can even get an answer from Google. How many died due to Stalin? Modern data. Oh, they've changed it. We went from 40 million people down to 6 million direct deaths and 9 million in total. According to official Soviet estimates, more than 14 million people passed through the Gulag from 29 to 53, another 7.8 million being deported and exiled to remote areas. Who killed more, Hitler, Stalin, or Mao? Oh, this is a good one. Let's see what we come up with here. This is by China File. We're gonna get the true answer here. I'll share this one. We're gonna get in fact, we might get better truth than we get from our own media here. So I shouldn't laugh. Let's take a look at this. I have no idea what it's going to say. I haven't read it. You'll see. This is what I see so far. All righty. Ooh, Mao Zedong. Who killed more? Let's see. In these pages nearly 7 years ago, Timothy Snyder asked a provocative question. Who killed more, Hitler or Stalin? As useful as that exercise as moral rigor was, some think the question itself might have been slightly off. Instead, it should have included a third tyrant of the 20th century, Chairman Mao. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Get to the answer. They don't answer the question. Oh, here we go. On the Chinese side, blah, 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 blah. His conclusion, famine killed only 3.66 million people. Only 3.66 million. Okay. Bannister used Chinese demographic statistics to come up with a remarkably durable estimate of 30 million. So that's more than Hitler. Chinese journalist, 35 million. Somebody else, a Hollywood equal plausible estimate of 45 million. So we've got new revisionist history with Stalin, where they're revising it down to about 6 million, but then there's some others they could throw in there. You can't have him beat Hitler. I'll tell you, all the original series on World War II, you get 40 million as the number under Stalin. 40 million. All right, we got 40 to 45 million right here. You're going to talk about anybody but Chairman Mao? The Soviet Union suffered upward of 8 million combatant deaths and many more due to famine and disease, perhaps about 20 million. Then again, wasn't Stalin partially responsible for those deaths because he purged his best generals? This is revisionist history. Yes, he did purge. He purged. You know how he purged his best generals? He murdered them. That's what the word purge means. Oh, okay. Between 30 and 45 million deaths. So see, they're all higher than Hitler. Anyway, interesting stuff. And history again starts to change. Who knows what was true in the first place? I have heard 60 million with Stalin, Nicholas. Actually, I have, but I've heard 40 million more than any other number. Stalin was alone. Stalin was a criminal. I mean, outright criminal. That was his job. He was a criminal before he took over. Yes, all history is revisionist, and ours is the worst. Ours is the absolute worst. Carbide, yes, feeling better from the migraines for sure. Thank you. Got a little bit of cold symptoms that I'm fighting off. I think I'll be okay. Exposure to my son with COVID. Has anyone seen Dr. Zelensko? Testimony during a hearing in Israel. Great listen, very informative. I have not. What's he talking about? High vibes. John Cream says, I mean, when you get people shouting at you that you are literally Hitler, he doesn't sound so bad. They have butchered the meaning of being called a Nazi when everyone is one. Everybody is one? Everybody's a Nazi? I'm not sure where you're going with that. Hello, Jacob Law. 35 million Jews were killed in the course of the war. I disagree with that. And the reason why I disagree with it is there weren't that many Jews over there at that time. The total amount of Jews in Europe and the areas that bordered Europe and the Soviet Union were less than that, according to what I know. It doesn't matter. One person's too many. But it's funny how history will focus on one particular person. See, we went to war supposedly. Well, we went to war because I won't get into it because that might be misinformation. But in World War II, everybody knows about Pearl Harbor. Let's just say everything there is as it was told, just like 9/11. 3 days later, Hitler declared and Mussolini declared war on the United States. Well, that was mostly because we were feeding the Allies before we got into it with all kind of materials and things like that. Why? Because Germany went into Poland. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. But guess who else went into Poland? Stalin. Yeah. Under the Ribbentrop Pact, I can't remember the other guy's name. They carved up Poland. So why do we end up on one side, the communist side, but against the other side? It really makes no sense. Why are most of the world leaders and celebs? I would say they're not Jewish. I would say they're Kazakhis. Oh, dude, I don't think your picture makes you look like a woman. Maybe somebody else does, but I don't think so. I don't get very big pictures, though. I don't want to offend anyone. Nobody to offend. We're all of one blood. Everybody on the earth is of one blood. The divisions come from man dividing against man. And where's my water? I do have it within reach, barely, but within reach. But it doesn't mean you can't call out who's in charge. The Kazakhis are in charge of the financial system, the government system, the system. October 1 is the deadline, but for what exactly? I haven't even heard October 1 is a deadline for anything. I'm not even going to acknowledge that carbide. I can't. Sorry. Everything has been melted, no mountains, just melted old world buildings. Interesting. You got it, Michelle. The beast system. It is. There is no government on earth. There is no government on earth that is not Babylon, part of Babylon the Great. Yes, Charlie Ward, I've heard him before talk about the earth as a flat plane. But Mike has a link to a video where he talks about, well, let's see. I don't know how clear this will be, but I'll play the audio. It's not long.
As I was saying to both Mel and to Simon earlier, I keep getting told off for saying too much, and that's why I was sort of focused on other things like numerology and is the world round or flat or
flat. It's definitely flat.
It feels pretty flat to me. it needs to be lifted right now.
Simon Parks is the one that said it's definitely flat. Did I see your comments on WTR? I don't think so. I don't know what WTR is. Hold on a second. What about fallen angels mixing with sons of God? What about them? Is that what you're talking about? No, Mark. Thank God we are not getting any rain now. Thank God. Oh, Wake the Republic. Oh, okay. Now I forgot what the question was. Hold on. First time I've seen it acronymed. Are you talking about it in the comments, Maven? If you're talking about in the comments, probably not. The problem is most of the time I'm logged in as Mr. Thrive and Survive, and I get notifications from that one. If I log out of that and into Wake the Republic, then I get notifications, but only on Wake the Republic. So it's sort of the same issue we have here with the streams. You can't combine the two. Hey, Rich, the CDC count people who died within 14 days of the vaccine as unvaxxed? I don't know. Do they? Aaron Cole, I like your thinking. Now, if it's comments in the like what we're looking at right now, I can see both at the same time. I see a combination. See, I see there's a total of 149 people on the stream. So roughly, I would guess Mr. Thrive and Survive is about 105, 110, and the rest over on the other channel, Wake the Republic. I advise Revelation 12 did seem to happen September 27, unless it was faked what we saw. It happened. There's no way to fake it, and I paid attention to it. In fact, you could see half the sign after sunset and half the sign just before sunrise. That's how that was. That's what happens when the woman is clothed with the sun. And to me, if that's a time marker, if it is, I think most time markers are 7 years biblically. So that takes us to 2024. So to me, it'll all be resolved by then. And if that time comes up and nothing's resolved, then we were wrong about that, or I was wrong about that. That for more using 2 channels to watch and thumbs up since they want to censor me. Oh, they like censoring. Nothing like a free speech country. Jacob Law, it's all happening suddenly. What's all happening suddenly? Stanley, you timed somebody up by accident? Tisk tisk. Wrong, many believe in a chew on the line of Cain. Jesus only came for the lost sheep Israel. Okay. Several scriptures can refute that, even Old Testament ones, where he says, I will call a people who are not my people. And then you have Jesus at the Feast of Tabernacles talking to Greeks, and I believe that's where he says it has begun, meaning the Gentiles coming in. There's so many scriptures about the Gentiles coming in, it's not even refutable. However, some of the Gentiles are lost sheep of Israel. But the Greeks weren't. Oh, that's interesting, Iron. You did an AE map, sun, moon, planet animation part of Revelation 12. That's fascinating. Where is a free speech country these days? Well, all I can tell you is it's not here. This is the one that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be guaranteed. First Amendment. Looks like I'm in the 70s with the wood paneling. I think this house was made in the 70s. It's a mobile home, and I think it's a 1978. So it's right in, or fits right in there. And I'm certainly not going to pay to have it changed. I don't even know what's under it. I don't want to know. It's not easy to know about flat earth in your church. It means you're probably in the wrong church. High Vibe 16, honest question. Did I miss a question? Oh, you're talking to Jacob Law. Okay. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Carbide. This is the last time I'm wearing it. It's my arms are too big for it now. So there's no room. So this is the last time. I'm hoping I can get it off without having to cut it. This is what happens when you bulk. When I cut, this shirt will be fine. Yeah, Anna. Yeah, you know what? When I first saw this, it didn't bother me at all because I grew up in a house that had paneling like this. Reminded me of living with my mother and stuff when we were kids. The only free speech nation is Antarctica if you can get there, and you can't. Yeah, that's a good point, Maven. People need to use the @ sign when commenting to others. Yeah, it makes it easier for me and probably the other people too. The first thing you are taught in medical school, the first thing, this is a business. Right out of the gate. Not we're here to save people. We're not here to cure people. This is a business. Yep, you're right, Slick. Most doctors, anyway. There's a couple exceptions. One of the exceptions is the one that Michael got because that doctor doesn't believe any of the standard stuff. Believes in all the alternative stuff. It is a crime against humanity. Yes, it is. There's a lot of things that are crimes against humanity that people don't even think about that are crimes against humanity. And it's all done by government. Well, not all, but they spearhead the most of it. Yes, remember Trump was the first one that was going to hold Big Pharma accountable. And remember, starting in January of 2020, he was still president then, we were supposed to get the lowest prices of any country instead of paying the highest of any country. Well, not only did that not happen, but the prices went up. And who got the best gift ever? Big Pharma. Ever. And it's still paying off. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Archangel, good to see you. There's rumors that the fall of Cabal was planned out. Supposedly the bombing that killed 13 soldiers was a countdown to the last hour. High treason. A countdown up to the last hour. Well, here's the thing, Archangel. How will we ever know? We have 4 airplanes that vaporized on 9/11. But the passport from one of the terrorists and the first plane that struck landed pristine on top of all the rubble and was picked up, and that was proof of who flew the plane. Nobody else's passport was found but his. He's on a plane that it's so hot it's melting steel, but the passport survived it. Man, I got to get me some of that paper. Slick Rick, well, I have the video taken down from misinformation. The official government word is there were planes, and you can see all the evidence that. Just listen to the government. I told you guys, those who've been with me for a while, I was at the Pentagon the day after, on September 12th, 2001, the morning after. That's right. Jet fuel does not burn passports. We found that out now. I wonder if it burns COVID passports, or if they're exempt too. I'd like to know that question. But I was at the Pentagon the morning after, and my initial thought was, and I wasn't awake, I thought of the Star Trek episode where Mr. Spock said insufficient mass, when it was supposedly another spaceship that they were fighting blew up, but there wasn't enough there. So he knew they really didn't, it was a decoy. That was my impression when I looked at it. It was like insufficient mass. Where is everything? Other than what the crap that came out of the building, that fell down out of the building and the bricks and all that, there was nothing else. Not only that, Stanley, not only did 2 planes bring down 3 buildings, but the BBC reported 20 minutes in advance of Building 7 collapsing. That, I mean, you talk about great reporting. That's like me being in a baseball game and I'm watching the game and live, and I made a joke to my son, Zach, when we went to a baseball game. He said, "Oh, you're watching the feed." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I want to know what's going to happen because the feed is ahead of the game." And he started cracking up because he knew I was joking, because the feed can't be ahead of the game. But that's what you have to believe from 9/11. Because they said the building fell, the woman is standing there, Building 7 has collapsed, and right behind her left shoulder, okay, right behind her left shoulder, the building's still standing. Then 21 minutes later, it collapses. That's called live. If you haven't seen it, look it up. So that tells me it was orchestrated. Now, it wasn't Giuliani who said to pull it. It was the owner of the building, Slick Rick, a Kazaki, who had just insured it for $100 billion or $200 billion, some unbelievable amount, way more than the replacement value of the building. Alex Jones had the video. That video should still be available somewhere. Let me try DuckDuckGo. I know better than Google. Let's see, BBC reports. I understand that DuckDuckGo is hiding stuff too. A lot of people must search for it because it comes up without me having to type it all in. Ah, here it is. I got it. And just to let you know, I'm going to drop the link. 4.1K people liked it. 293 people are just brain dead. Here's the link. Let me see. Building 7 reported collapsed 3 minutes in advance. That is just like you going to a baseball game, watching it on the feed, and saying, "Oh, the batter's going to hit a home run. He's going to hit a grand slam here on the next pitch because I just saw it on the feed." Doesn't happen. Sorry. It's that ridiculous. And what's cool is when I drop these in, it shows me that I dropped it in Wake the Republic and Mr. Thrive and Survive. That's pretty cool. Quebec flag. Yeah, we showed a video on the last stream. So on 9/11, I saw the second tower explode without any plane live on TV. 15 minutes later, I saw the same footage, but this time there was a plane. WTF. Let me, I'm sure it's right here. Hopefully it is. Take this off. Let me scrub this again for you guys. This is, let me see. Let me go to 6 seconds. 7. Okay. At about 6 to 7 seconds is when you see an explosion. So let's go back to the beginning. Right about here. Now, what you can't see probably very good on here is in the right where the slide bar is on the lower right-hand side. Now, you can see this when it's live. See, it's right here. There's smoke coming out in advance. And as you'll see, by now we should have seen something approaching from some side. Doesn't matter. Nothing could be hidden. Because you have a gap over here and you have a gap over here. Look at that. Actually, what I was pointing to was not what I was talking about. But let me see if I can get well, I can't because I don't know where I got this from. But this was somebody's phone. Remember they had the flip-top phones in? And they recorded this. And as the caption said, they didn't know at the time that 20 years later people would be uploading from their flip phone up to the internet, social media. There's nothing there. And what we were told was, let me see if I can get it right to the point. See that right there? That's supposed to be either a wing or a nose of the aircraft sticking out. See the shadow coming down? That means we should have seen it coming into it. And look at where most of the fire is. It's not even in the building. It's outside. So even if it was hot enough, I mean, that's all consumed right there, whatever it was. It's gone. But yet, it melted steel and concrete. Orbs were spotted earlier in the day before probably setting up hologram projectors like NASA launch site. I tell you, I don't know if you guys remember, I showed when, see if I can find it. It was Trump and Pence watch rocket launch. I think what we were seeing was CGI there. See if I can find. Yeah, there it is. I got it. Let me find where the area is, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but to me, it told me it was bullcrap. Hold on, I'm getting there. Well, this is a crappy feed. Oh, okay. I was too far in. All right, 26 seconds. Let me share this. Check this out. Yeah, this could be a hologram, Sherry. Could be. To me, it's not what we should see. I'll explain why. Just something I picked up. I might be totally 100% off with this, but watch this. Alrighty, you guys can see it. Let me get back to the stream. Make it larger. Notice it's just now taking off. See the fire? Trump is looking dead ahead. Pence already looks like he's starting to lean his head up a little bit. Now watch Pence's head and then watch Trump's head at the same time as it goes up. Pence starts tilting up, but Trump doesn't. He's still looking dead ahead. He isn't looking up. Look, he's looking dead ahead. It's way up here. See Pence? Pence is looking up. What's that? Like I said, maybe it's me. But if a rocket's up there, I'm not going to be doing this. I'm going to be following it. Trump and Pence look green screen. You know what? I never even looked for that. Never even looked for that. Yeah, they could be the ones that are. They've gotten so good with this stuff. Let me see if I can pick out something weird here. Give me just a second, guys. All the shadows are consistent with the foreground anyway. And I don't even see any shadows in the with anything else. Of course, we don't get a close-up look of anything. And why is the President of the United States standing about 15 miles away? I mean, remember at the Apollo launches, the families they're in a grandstand right there. Even at the shuttle explosion. They had a much better seat than that. And we know these people are, well, allegedly, YouTube, these people are still alive. Remember, people have tracked down where they were even working today? Some people never even bothered to change their name. A couple of them said they were their twin brother or sister. These people here, these frauds. If people say they're going up in space, they're frauds. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Here we go. Who in the right mind, anyway, nobody would go up, even if this happened once. Would you? Go with throttle up. Oops. Come on, where's the people? Oh, this feed doesn't show it. You remember seeing the people in the stands and they're like all crying and hugging each other? They were a lot closer than Trump was. Anyway, more lies. See, every now and then they have to give you a disaster so people get interested. Like Apollo 13, everybody tuned out by Apollo 12. So Apollo 13, that was they had just as many people watch Apollo 13 as Apollo 11. Because it was a disaster. They didn't know how they were going to get them back. So then Apollo 14 got a bump because they were like, is the same thing going to happen? Was there even a delay between Apollo 13 and 14? If there was, it wasn't that long. Space show hit a bird boom. Maybe it hit the firmament. Look that video up. I'll try. Let's see if I can come up with it. One was 2 months ago. If I can get the link for you guys, I found it. I'll be damned. I'll be darned. When you click on it to go to YouTube, it takes you to everything but that. Unbelievable. You go to DuckDuckGo. Unbelievable. It was actually the video. I clicked on it. It goes to YouTube and it gives you all the other crap. Just like when you search flat earth, it'll give you all the people on the other side. The professor who doesn't even know how to freaking properly cut his toenails, I don't think. I can't find it now. Hold on. Let's do it this way. Get off my screen, Google. It's like in real time, they filtered this out on me. I just can't believe this. I mean, I had it. When I clicked on it, it was gone. What is this? By the way, guys, I'm going to be uploading a video, stuff you've seen me do a couple times. I don't know, guys. You'll have to do a search. This will take me too long. I had it. I don't know what happened. If you find it, leave the link, please. That sounds like something P-Brain would do, or I don't know. People have covered it. The thing about the angle of incidence, I had a commenter who seemed like he was a ball earther, and then after I explained some stuff, he said, "Can you do a video, or can you send me to a video that explains it?" So he was open. So I need to do that. I need to do showing exactly what the angle of incidence is for someone doing a long distance observation over a lake, which is essentially 0 degrees. And there's something else I have to do too that I've explained a couple of times. I need to put up there. Does anyone recall the mysterious suicide of non-live witness Barry Jennings? Vaguely, that sounds vaguely familiar. If not, it's worth looking up. Good to know. I know there was somebody that committed suicide. I've been hacked, huh? That was weird. It's the first time I clicked on it. It took me then to a list of videos, and none of them were the video. I wonder if it went into my history. I don't know if it was a YouTube video. Let's see. We go to my channel. Let me check the history. No. It picked up the Space Challenger explosion. President Trump watches NASA's SpaceX demonstration and the BBC thing. But it didn't pick up that video, which I wasn't in my channel when I was doing it, so that's a hit or miss thing. Challenger explosion still alive. All right, let me search for that. I feel like I should do a screen print if I see it again. Now you will get, like, here's a video called Astronauts Slightly Survived Challenger Explosion. This is where they've taken the story one step further and said that they are, one step further, I should say, and where they said they were alive and they crashed into the ocean, and they knew the whole time that they were going to crash into the ocean. They didn't instantly burn up. And what was a school teacher? These people went into their own, like, witness protection plan, except they were so stupid they're still using their same name. Some of them. I'm on the third page of looking at it. Try one other thing. All right, here it is. I'm going to copy the link first. Instead of clicking on it, I'm going to paste it and click on it. See if it takes me to the right video. Yes. All right, we got it now. We got it. It's called NASA Challenger Crew Still Alive, Absolute Proof. And only 12,000 people have seen it on this channel. The channel's called Knowledge That Won't Get You a Job. It won't even keep you on YouTube if you talk about it too much. There's the link to it, guys. It's weird that a pair would name both twins the same name. Seems slightly confusing. But look at that video, guys. They actually show you, tell you exactly where they are, what they're doing, and the name they're using today, and their today's pictures. It's the same people. Oh, that's another thing. Oklahoma bombing. You know, what really still gets me is Janet Reno and her FBI raid, Waco. Just in case you didn't know, Janet Reno, one of the worst attorney generals ever in the history of the world. She's the one that said, Trump, she said, she goes, Trump will never be president in my lifetime. She died the day before the election in 2016. It's almost like she sealed her own fate. Danny Diesel. I'm uploading a video of my airplane JavaScript running, this time for 23 minutes continuous. The drift brakes are not connected. Only power to the JavaScript. Guess what didn't happen? Oh, good to know, Danny. If you get the link to it, post it here. I'll bet it didn't turn, did it? But that's because of friction. Or maybe it's because of I just love this new one that they use, conservation of momentum. Demonstrate it. Well, see, if you're in an airplane and it's moving 2,000 miles per hour or 200 miles an hour, and you throw a football from the back to the front. Now, if you go by stupid Einstein, the football can't go faster than the plane. So if you throw you can't throw the football from the back of the plane to the front, but you can't add the two together. So if the plane's moving at, let's use 500 miles per hour, and you throw a plane from the back, football or a ball from the back to the front, you can't add that. But that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. If you're on a train that's 10 miles long, a hypothetical train, and it's traveling 100 miles per hour, and you start jogging at the back of that train, and in 1 hour exactly, it stops. You're 10 miles, because you were running at 10 miles per hour. If you could run for that whole 10 miles, whole hour, you had advanced not only the length of the train, which is 100 miles per hour, but that 10 extra miles. You've traveled 110 miles in that 100 hours, or 1 hour. But people want to believe Einstein. Ground speed of football would be 500 plus the speed of the football. But see, according to Einstein, it doesn't matter what the ground speed is. You have Christy McAuliffe Museum here in New Hampshire, all propaganda, I'll bet. And how about Sandy Hook? What do Sandy Hook, all the 9/11 sites, that would be New York, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, Northern Virginia, the Pentagon, okay? What else? There's something else that's famous. 3 of them. What do they all have in common? They're all crime scenes where they didn't secure the evidence. They rushed as fast as they could to get rid of it all. They even bulldozed down Sandy Hook, didn't they? Well, it's because we don't want those memories to be in future parents' heads or whatever. It's like, what? Einstein's only patent item was a blouse. And how about Einstein? He's all for using the bomb. He wants to develop the bomb, right? Because he wants to get rid of Hitler. He's Jewish, so he wants to get rid of Hitler. Understandable, I guess. So he writes a letter to Roosevelt very early on, which helps make the decision to start the Manhattan Project. The project that had thousands and thousands and thousands of people involved, and maybe even millions of ancillary people with supply people and everything and all. And nobody knew what the hell they were doing. But the government can't keep a secret like that. But anyway, that's beside the point. But you had him writing this letter. You have to do this. You have to develop the bomb. We have to stop Hitler. So then when Hitler is defeated, but you still have Japan, who's the worst enemy, really, as far as lives that can be lost. They estimated that it would be 1 million minimum American lives would be lost if we had to invade Japan itself. Suddenly, he develops a conscience and signs a letter and sends it to the president saying, no, we can't use the bomb. It's unethical. So it was okay when it was his enemy, but when it was somebody else's enemy, no, that's not good. What a charlatan and a coward and a what's the word? A hypocrite. Einstein told the government, who then arrested Reich, stole his research, burned his public works, put Reich in prison where he died. Nice people. Iron says, while the U.S. atomic bomb was being developed, William Reich showed Albert Einstein an energy of form that negated radiation. Where did it go? You know what bothers me with this whole radiation thing is we have nuclear submarines. Think about that. Nuclear submarines. And they go to war. So if they get blown up by a torpedo or a depth charge from another ship, what's going to happen to the radiation? They're not worried about that, are they? Bill, yes. Radiation that will last thousands of years. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, both full of people today. Not only that, but you had Fukushima, right? Remember that? Fukushima. You look for this. I found that. I can't believe I found this. Let me do it this way so I don't get screwed over. Let me share this with you guys. This is when I knew Fukushima was a lie. I mean, allegedly a lie. Allegedly, YouTube. I'm not saying it is. Ugh. Just clicked on Janet Reno. Pete Ryoto Matsumura, the one man who cares for Fukushima's abandoned animals. So this guy right here, when everybody else left, I mean everybody else left, he stayed. And then eventually reporters showed up and they were looking at the Geiger counters and stuff like that. And it was supposedly you could only live for like so many hours or weeks exposed to that. And he's been there for years. I just saw another link where he's still there in 2020. And he's at ground zero. And here's what I was thinking. If he dies of cancer, here's the reason. Look what's in his mouth. But all the animals survived, and he survived at ground zero. How do you grab a lot of land and not have to pay anybody to leave? That's just a question I'd like to ask. I'm not saying nuclear radiation doesn't exist, high vibes. I'm not saying that at all. Nuclear radiation exists big time, or as Trump would say, big league, in the Nevada desert, where people have built their houses. People have walked over uranium. People have built houses over uranium. It doesn't do anything to them, never has. Some radiation will and some won't. Now, if you have man who takes uranium and other things and makes radioactive isotopes out of it that are not natural, yeah, you can definitely be hurt by that. People stayed at Chernobyl are still alive should be impossible. We've been propagandized with so many things. Paul says, does anyone know if there's any way to figure out any truth anywhere other than God's word? The answer is no, you can't. Because you have the prince of the power of the air is in charge of the governments, every one of them. So you're going to get lies. It seems to me literally everything I was taught was a lie, and it generally is, or some slight variation off the truth. And I'm pretty sure that 2 + 2 = 4, I think. Yeah, extreme logic is about all you can use to know if something is good or bad. Yes, Jacob Law. Cigarettes have had bad ingredients added to tobacco. It's all right to smoke. Yes, the carcinogenics in tobacco is not the tobacco. It's what's been added. And did you know that the cigarette companies got caught? This is in the history of YouTube. They got caught adding nicotine so that people would get addicted to it. But there's also other stuff that's added, particularly in the paper. That's right, Aaron. You have to use discernment about everything. My apologies for sniffling. Yes, everything about this realm involves deception. 100% agree. And that's a good point, Bill. The lies are so good. Adam was likely the smartest man who ever lived. Perfect. He bought Satan's lie. You know what's funny is the Bible says that Eve was deceived, not Adam. Now, you could read that, and I read it anyway, as Gyro video is up now. Okay, thanks. Hold on a second. Hold on. Get off my screen. Oh, I'm looking for your channel. I got it. Doggy face. 23-minute gyro. There we go. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Here's the link to it, guys. Run the gyroscope for 23 minutes. Look and see if the Earth spun. There's the link. Thank you for that, Danny. I appreciate it. Back from where I thought Adam loved her so much he took on the death too. I look at it a little bit different than that. I mean, that could be it. But husbands will do stuff for the wives that they won't do for anybody else. They'll go along to get along, so to speak. It would have been interesting, wouldn't it? Of course, God knew in advance that they would both fall. But wouldn't it have been interesting if Adam was like, no, not going to do it? Would have created something interesting. I guess they would have had to make another Eve. Smoke 1,000 cigs a month for 40 years. My lung is fine. How many is that a day? 3 packs? Roughly, a little bit more than 3 packs. I smoked for 20 years, and I do have COPD. I'm asymptomatic, but when I had my heart attack, when I thought I was having another one, they did a CT scan and it picked it up. But I don't have symptoms from it. There's a way to beat that, by the way. Always listen to your doctor's advice. Can you imagine Adam and Eve nagging him for 900 years? Oh. Oh. Carbide, yeah, I thought that was about right. Most ever smoked a day. I mean, if I was drinking, like when I was in the Navy, if I went out partying or something, I might smoke a pack and a half, 2 packs. But man, I'd wake up the next morning like that. I knew it. Generally speaking, it was a pack or maybe a little bit less. I wish there was no side effects or worries. I'd love to still smoke. I don't have any vices. Really, I just don't. Not anymore. A lot of smokers died of lung cancer. No causation cannot be proved, but they all died of the same. Yeah, smoking cigarettes will give you lung cancer. I have zero doubt about that. My mother died of lung cancer, smoker. My grandfather died of lung cancer, smoker. And then you have other people that can smoke forever and never get lung cancer. And I think it's some people that one just don't have the gene that or they have a gene that fights cancer, doesn't allow it to build up in the system. That's one thing. I have a little bit of a theory that O blood people tend to get cancer more. It's just a theory. Vaping is much better than smoking. I don't know. Hello, DCM. Yeah, I'm back on this channel. DCM, I hope you're on the other channel because you keep trying to knock this one out. Did I smoke cigarettes with filters? Yes, I did. You know what's weird? Well, I know somebody who smoked 5 packs of Lucky Strike filterless a day. 5. And he was fine. One day he's coming home. He would catch the bus to work. He worked at General Motors when they had a plant in Baltimore. He was coming home, got off the bus, was walking home, and his knee gave out on him. And he had knee cancer. So he smoked all those cigarettes and he had knee cancer. But I'm sure what it was is he probably had lung cancer and it metastasized. But there's no doubt that the cigarettes that are in the store, whatever you smoke them, it's not good. I mean, when I abused them, I knew it wasn't good. Like I said, I'd wake up wheezing in the mornings. It's just not. I heard you get popcorn lung from vaping. Well, hi, Charlie. 85% of all cancer diagnosis are, I guess you mean faulty. Not with my grandfather and mother, I know that. You know what's weird about my grandfather was? He was diagnosed in 1970, and he died in 1971. And he went to doctor after doctor after doctor, trying to figure out what was wrong with him. He had back pain. And nobody could find it. Finally, he goes to what they call in Baltimore the Point, Sparrows Point, Bethlehem Steel. He worked at the steel mill there, and they used to always make fun of the steel mill doctors. Anyway, he went to one of those doctors, and the doctor there found it. He said, "You have lung cancer." Anyway. Cancer linked to vaccines? No, not unless the CDC says it. Cancer just exploded in the 90s. I have a theory for that too, L. Brooks. That's because you needed some time for the crappiness of the food to catch up. When they really started getting into processed everything and super processed breads, this soft white bread that's enriched. Because if it's not enriched, white bread will always say enriched with so many vitamins, whatever. That's because it will literally kill you if you eat white bread that is not enriched. It will literally kill you. It will rip all the magnesium out of your body, out of your muscles and everything, and you will die. That's why white bread is fortified. Anything that's fortified is bad for you. That means they pumped vitamins back in to keep it from killing you or making you very sick. Yeah, sugars, and then you started getting all these artificial things put into everything. Everything's got to look fantastic. So you have red dye number 4, and everything's got to taste fantastic. So you can't just have sugar because that's too expensive. You have to keep soft drinks cheap and things like that. So you come up with high fructose corn syrup, which is not natural, and you come up with stevia, and you come up with not stevia. Stevia is fine. You come up with aspartame and sucralose and all those stuff. And with the diet being crappy and then everybody eating fast food and just junk, your body can't. I mean, we knew before my mother, 5-10 years before my mother got cancer, my siblings, my brother and sister and I, we would say she's just waiting to get cancer because she ate crappy food. She liked the white soft bread. She liked diet sodas all the time. I mean, lots of it. She was pumping chemicals into herself constantly and smoking. So there was nothing in her of good nutritional value to fight anything. Yes, Jacob Law, GMOs. They hit us all at once. Did you know when I was in high school, I graduated in 78, and we were packed like sardines on a city bus because it was all overcrowded and they had busing and all that crap. Another lovely thing the government did. You can't go to the school in your neighborhood because the racial inequalities there. I mean, you didn't have the right mix of white and black. So you had to go on a school bus, on a city bus 10 miles away to go to school. In any case, there was maybe, I don't know, I was trying to think of this the other day, 100 people on the bus, maybe more. I mean, it was packed, every seat taken and all the standing room taken up. And if you went around a corner real fast or whatever, it didn't matter. You were packed up against somebody, you didn't move. There might have been in that whole bus one person who was obese, maybe 2 or 3 overweight, 1 obese, maybe 2 or 3 overweight, maybe. Now get on a bus, you won't even fit 100 people, same bus, you might fit 80. It's just what they've done to us. Sherry, did you ever say something about to me that I miss? It must have been a while back. I don't see it. Sorry. And I can only go back. Well, I'm seeing 2 channels. It's going to lock me up here in a second. It won't let me go all the way back. If you can give me a time marker, because they do have that. That is a cool thing that they'll take away once we get used to it. They'll take away the time marker, Sherry. If it's important, just let me know. 72 riders, 3 per seat, 48 riders, 2 per seat, average school bus. This wasn't a school bus. This was a full-fledged Baltimore City bus that took people downtown to work and stuff like that. Oh, thank you, Sherry. Yeah, you know what? I always had a dichotomy going. I was always way smarter than other people my age in a lot of stuff, but way dumber or naive in a lot of stuff at the same time. And part of it was because I guess my father wasn't there. That had some things to do with certain things. But I really thought when I was a kid, and my grandfather died when I was 10, 11, something like that. 10. I thought that I didn't even think about people dying. The only people died were people that got shot or people that were in accidents. That was it. I didn't know any, because I guess that's what I heard on the news. So when my grandfather died, it was like 100% out of left field. What do you mean he died from a sickness? So it really affected me badly to be that old and not realize that. But at the same time, I'm able to do or know stuff that other people maybe never ever learned. But it was weird. I had that most of my life, at least through teens and stuff like that, where I was very, very naive about certain things. I used to be young and dumb, now I'm older. Johnny says, because I am fat, I'm fat. You know it? One of my kids always had problems with fat people. And I was like, why do you have problems with fat people? And he or she would give me reasons of like, you do realize that most people don't know about nutrition, and most people don't know they're being scammed by everybody. And they want you to get fat. Because there's a connection with that, and certain people that push certain things, especially daily, if you have to take it daily. So anyway, it isn't something that all of a sudden people are like, oh, I'm going to way over consume everything and get fat. That's not it. And everything is junk carbs today. Everything. And they make it so it's hard. It is hard. I was the fattest I ever was. I was obese when I was the poorest I ever was, because I couldn't afford protein. All I could afford was carbohydrates. I mean, I could afford a little protein, but not a lot. So generally, the poorer you are, the heavier you're going to be in this country. And that's a circumstance of economics and what they've done to us. You're going to love carnivore if you can hang in there. I do a modified carnivore, Bill. It's mostly carnivore. I'm exactly, Jacob Law. Fat people were rare. That was my point. In fact, if you were overweight at all, you really got made fun of. You got made fun of for a lot of stuff, but you really got made fun of if you were overweight because you stuck out. I was made fun of because I was so skinny. That's why I lift now. It's a psychological thing. What about healthy every size weights? Yeah, the line they push. Who does that keep in business better? You're talking about cocaine and products, DCM. Yeah, the original thing was Coke adds life. And you know why? Because it had cocaine in it. That's where the name Coke comes from. It wasn't by accident. Oh, did you, Paul? Yeah, my son's got if I ever want it again, I can get it. I found a site that sells many hung ephedra supplements, including the stack. In case you don't know about the stack, that's ephedra, caffeine, and aspirin. It was very popular, I would say, give or take a few and people were losing weight, and it was working. Can't have that. So they needed a scapegoat, and I did it on the stream. It was a Baltimore Orioles pitcher, way overweight, way overweight. They had him pitch in spring training, just came in. He's totally out of shape. And over 110 degrees, I think they said it was 115 degrees on the field, something like we read it. Way over 100 degrees on the field. He gets a heat stroke. They do an autopsy to find out he had ephedra in him. And they said that was a probable leading cause to why he died. He had heat stroke. He lived for 2 days. Ephedra didn't kill him. Ephedra is out of your system in 4 or 5 hours. He lived a couple days. He died of heat stroke. But they had the scapegoat then. That's it. Can't get ephedra anymore. Wonder why. Maybe people would become less insulin dependent or dependent on insulin, or I don't know. I'm making that stuff up. Stanley says, I didn't know about the wine. Coca-Cola was originally wine, coca, cocaine, and alcohol. Nice mix, I guess. That's another thing. So you want to legalize drugs, right? It's like anybody that wants anything can get it. If I want cocaine, trust me, I can get it. Now, I don't know right off the bat where I could get it, but when I was a teenager, early 20s, I had to fight it off. People would be offering it to me. You kidding me? Anything I wanted. If I wanted heroin, I could get it. If I wanted cocaine, I could get it. Marijuana, I could get it. Just about anything you could think of. Oh, in fact, Tuinals, which I think Tuinals, were they downers or uppers? I can't remember. Valium, oh my gosh. Valium was like candy. It was all over the place. Black Beauties, trying to think of the other stuff that was going around. Anything you wanted, all illegal, you could get. You can still get it today. The difference is you can't get it from a reliable source. It's like the person that said in the stream. So I guess you would legalize fentanyl. You're damn right I would. People are dying from fentanyl because all of a sudden it has a I'm making these numbers up just for because I don't know what the real numbers are. It has a strength of 50 to 1. 50 to 1 gram, let's say, 50 whatever. And then all of a sudden you get a batch in from China that's 500 to 1. And so they take the same amount expecting the same high and it kills them. Because it's like they took 10 tablets or whatever fentanyl comes in. So if you do like other countries that have done it, Portugal, look up Portugal. Portugal had one of the worst drug problems every which way you can imagine possible. It was like the slums in the whole country. People were living on the streets, needles on the streets like San Francisco, and all kind of with severe penalties for drugs. And it wasn't working. So they finally said, we're going to legalize it all. Streets are cleaned up. Nobody's having problems. Anybody has problems, once they get fixed, they don't have to worry about getting arrested. They can actually go and get some drugs while they're trying to wean off of it. The government will help them. All the problems are gone by legalizing it. It's not a matter of morals. I don't have a right to impose my morals on you. Here's the weird thing. If I went over to my neighbor's house and knocked on the door and he's smoking pot, and let's say it's legal here in Arizona with the tax, but let's just say it wasn't, because it wasn't until a couple years ago. He opens the door and he's smoking pot. And I say, I don't want you smoking pot. That's not right. So I want you to get rid of all of it right now, whatever. He would tell me to go to hell, right? But we'll allow the government to tell us that all day. You're not allowed to smoke it, or you'll go to jail. It's crazy. A friend, a neighbor, you'll reject, but a total stranger you put above you, oh yeah, rain down your authority. We don't think of government in the right way. There is no right way to have a government. Quaaludes, yes. Oh man, there was I was at a party. Was it in? It was just before I went in the Navy, and I was drinking. I didn't do drugs generally. Every now and then I would smoke pot, but I was drinking, and someone was going around dropping black Quaaludes into people's beers, and when it came to mine, I was like, no, I don't want that. Then somebody else, a friend of mine, he goes, well, I got something that's weaker. It's Valium. I didn't even think about it. I was like, all right. So I took Valium and drank. It almost killed me. But anyway, you're not educated on any of it because it's all illegal. You don't even talk about it. The more you give control over to somebody else, the more people die. When you really break it down, it's the way it is. That's right, Bill. The government has no right to stop people taking drugs. It's all about big pharma, baby. Yeah, they can give you drugs all day. And YouTube, this is not misinformation. Every drug, 0 exceptions, has side effects. From aspirin to heroin and everything in between, they all have side effects. Adverse side effects that can kill you. Don't believe me? Let's search the web. How many people die from aspirin? $15.3 deaths per 100,000. Up 1/3 from what? Pardon me. Up to 1/3 of all NSAID aspirin deaths can be attributed to low-dose aspirin use. So let's do the math. They never want to give you the numbers straight out. Okay, so you got we have a population of 325 million. Let's use that number. Who knows if it's true? Divided by 100,000. So it's 3,250 and 15.3 deaths per that. Per divided by. So 212 people. 212 people, I guess, if I'm doing it right, die of aspirin per year. No, that's wrong. Daily aspirin linked to more than 3,000 deaths per year. Scientists warn. How come the scientists didn't warn the FDA? So aspirin with, well, thin your blood and kill you. See, I used to take it after my heart attack. So I was like, oh, I'll take that. And I was like, why am I taking this? And so I did some research, and like I said, I take vitamin K12, which is going to be much better. And I take other stuff I take beetroot extract every day. Very good for managing blood pressure. I don't need mine managed anyway, but if you do, don't go by me. I always seek professional advice. I'm a meteorologist, not a doctor. Look up acetaminophen. Yeah, that's a good one. That they push in everything. You can't get a narcotic without acetaminophen in it hardly at all. Acetaminophen will kill your liver. Oh, check this out. Acetaminophen overdose. That's Tylenol for those of you who are in Democrat counties. Acetaminophen overdose is the leading cause for calls to poison control centers. Greater than 100,000 per year. and accounts for more than 56,000 emergency room visits, 2,600 hospitalizations, and an estimated 458 deaths due to acute liver failure each year. That's just for the acute liver failure. What else do we have? Is Tylenol by far the most dangerous drug ever made? If you're asking the question, why are they pumping it and everything? How to avoid acetaminophen-related liver problems? Oh, I got an answer for you. Don't take it. You know, when I was going to pain management, they have to put it in there. You know why they put it in there? Other than maybe some companies getting some money for it. They're worried that you're going to take it. Like if you get, I would get Vicodin. It would be 10 milligrams of the narcotic and 325 milligrams of acetaminophen. Well, when I first started getting it, it was 625 or 650 milligrams. Finally, I said, why are you pumping all this acetaminophen? Well, studies have shown that if acetaminophen combined with the narcotic helps with the pain. Well, actually, that's bullcrap. But anyway, if you do studies by themselves on acetaminophen and pain, nothing. Same as placebo. It does lower fevers, but that's it. But a fever is there to help you burn off what's wrong. So you get 10/325. And it was like, why can't you just, and they do make it without it, but you can't get anybody to prescribe it. Can't you just give me the 10 milligrams without the damn acetaminophen in it? And because I can't take, there's one that's called, you can get, what's it called? Vicuprofen. It's where it's Vicodin and ibuprofen. It's like, I can't have ibuprofen because that thickens your blood and I've had heart issues. Oh, well, you got to go with the acetaminophen then. Why can't you give it to me without the acetaminophen? Well, what people do is they can take it and they liquefy it and then they get like pure drug or whatever, and some people overdose. It's like, so I got to pay the price because some kid somewhere or somebody addicted to narcotics decides to, oh, and by the way, I've since learned that they can actually they know how to separate it out too, but it's a little, there's one extra step or something. The bottom line is, here's the bottom line with acetaminophen, why it's in it. Well, I don't have the picture anymore. Remember the dollar bill I was showing, the $100 bill? There's your reason. You think they gave you fentanyl? Oh, you know, I had fentanyl once. It was some procedure I had done. It was awesome. You can get oxycodone, no buffer. That's good. I can't get anything. I can't get any. I just have to suffer. I have a massager that spins. It's got these things that spin and knead. And I'm literally up 2-3 hours a night massaging my traps and neck because they hurt so bad. What can you do? Pugsley! Hello. It's added enough to stop people from refining or taking too much narcotic. Yes, exactly. So because people are abusing it, you can't get it. You have to get it with something that's going to hurt your liver. What's wrong with this picture? Biggest killer in all of history? Governments. Yes. And everybody wants it, don't they? Everybody wants a government. What's wrong with people? DCM, you know, a YouTuber in Vietnam who told you that he did the needles, then stopped and starting his life over. Now he's making YouTube videos. Oh, good. That's awesome. There is no government going to stop anybody from doing what they want to do. If you really want it bad enough, you're going to get it. If I really wanted heroin, I could get it. If I really wanted fentanyl, I could get it. If I really wanted Vicodin, I could get it. I just can't get it through the normal thing because of the opioid crisis. So because other people are having issues with it, I can't get it for legit pain. Crazy. Wow. Where are you, Al Brooks? The hospital here just fired over 100 nurses because they didn't get something, and they hired 100 that did take it. Pick your poison, kill your liver, OD. If you need to take that much or you're going to OD, something's wrong with you. I mean, you're addicted to the product, man. I just like to have 4 hours of relief every now and then. Yeah, Ben, you got it. I can't put it up there, but you got it. Stick says doctors are those who prescribe medicines of which they know little to cure diseases of which they know less, and human beings whom they know nothing at all. Voltaire. And they have an optional 2-week course on nutrition. Johnny, you're addicted to Mr. Thrive and Survive. So the rehabilitation center can't help him after 15 tries. He kept hopping the fence and went back on it. He was in it deep and got out on his own. That's good. A lot of people have to turn to God to get off stuff like that. Okay, try DMSO for pain. Wow, my brain went dead on DMSO. I know what DMSO is, and my brain just went dead on it. Therefore, look it up. Oh, I thought DMSO was what helps stuff. I thought the DMSO was to help stuff like penetrate the skin to get in. I didn't know it was for pain. Maybe I have a wrong idea about what DMSO is. I'll have to look that up. Thanks for that, Kay. Jacob, I don't know if you're serious or not, but I've tried CBD oil and it doesn't do a thing for me. Maybe I haven't gotten a good kind. The only thing, the CBD, they set up a thing at my gym today. There was a guy there selling CBD oil. The only thing CBD has ever done for me is drain my wallet. DMSO makes you smell like garlic. Oh, that's not good. You love CBD oil. You might have a good brand. I heard the brand can make a difference. DMSO allows any drug to be absorbed through the skin. Thanks for that, Pugsley. That's what I thought it was. That's what I thought it was used for. I was actually going to use it for that for some reason once. I can't remember what the heck it was. The transformation needed to add a painkiller to it. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. What can you add to it, though? Big PH can't make money on it. Surprised we even know about it then, Kay. Think about it. Phoenix, 93 degrees, Ozark, 65. Waiting for you to join us out here. Left in June. Auto hoax. Yeah, I got to go check it out. Now, what part of the Ozarks are you in? What state? Interesting. 395 PRS says Bowling Green, Kentucky, more than 100 nurses protesting vax mandate. That was headline. I just looked it up. Reddit said, as I said, fake news. They are fighting it and haven't been fired. Not yet. Rethink. I got my son to send me a. I barely even check my mail. I'm serious. I check it like twice a week. Thank you, Kay. I appreciate that. I'll look forward to that. My son sent me a link to somebody who will give you a P.O. box and forward it to you, because I will not go to like one of these mailbox etceteras or whatever and go every day searching to see if something's in there. You know, guys, one time I had I've invented all kind of stuff in my head, stuff that years later people came out with. Even like DoorDash and all that. I had that idea 20 some years ago. But what we didn't have was this to make it easy. Any case, these PO boxes, most of them are either at the post office or they're at like mailboxes, etc., or something like that. It's like little mom and pop places where you go and they'll give you a PO box, and they have a box there for you, and you go in and check and see. Most of the time you open it up, there's nothing there but maybe garbage, if anything. I had an idea where if someone put mail in there, it would trigger an electronic device that would say, okay, mailbox 32B just got mail in it. It would cover a light on the bottom or whatever, a CDS cell. So when that happened, it would trigger a little electronic signal to go to a computer, and that would email you or text you saying you have mail in your PO box. That way you know to stop by. So you don't have to go by every day and there's nothing. Anyway, I thought that was one of my best inventions back then. Today it's not a big deal because people don't use them that much anymore. You got mail. Exactly. It was you got mail, but you literally had mail. Interesting sticks. I'm not going to post that, but interesting. Yeah, a lot of junk mail. Today, see, here's the deal. Before, how many people remember this? Or if you even know about it. You used to be able to go to the post office and say, I don't want third-class mail, which is junk mail. And you wouldn't get it. They would stop it. You would only get first-class mail. Someone actually put a stamp on something and sent it to you. When I moved to this community, it's a small box. And like I said, I don't want to drive over there every day. I mean, I could walk over there too. It's not that far. But since every day I'm driving out or in the community, might as well just drive over to there. But I don't do it every day. I don't want to get out of my car, walk over to the other side, go up to my box, which of course is right in the middle, could be on the end where you can park. But anyway, open it up and pull out my mail, which is 95% junk, maybe even 100% most of the times. So I went to the post office and said, I want to stop my third-class mail. Oh, you can't do that. I said, why can't I? I used to be able to do it. Well, they pay us for it, so we deliver it. I was like, okay. So sometimes, I don't think anybody in this community is listening, sometimes when I get third-class mail, I just throw it in the outbox right there. It's like, I didn't pay, you got paid to deliver it, but you didn't pay me to take it home. And they'll have stuff, it's never to me. It's like, my box is E20, and it'll be like box D17. They just take it, they don't care. It's like, you're not gonna bother to sort it right? Coming back to you. They don't know it's me because they didn't even make sure it was me the first time to send it to me. So I checked the mail today, and it was packed. And I don't think there's one first class in there. It's all junk. I hate these stupid grocery store flyers and stuff like that. Or these, we have what we call Clipper Magazine, which will have like 5 different ones wrapped in it. All these different places giving you coupons for pizza or fast food or whatever. So I don't, I go maybe twice a week and check it. If the mailman has problems stuffing all the crap in there, it's not my fault. He's getting paid to have to stuff it in. I'm not. Iron says, I remember a farmer that put himself on the mailing list to get any old kind of junk mail. He used it to heat his barn. Yes, there was a time when I used to save up paper like that. in case I needed that. That was when I lived in the Northeast, when you had to worry about if you didn't have something to heat with. That reminds me, about 2 months ago, it was, I don't know, one of those days it was like 115 degrees here. I get up in the middle of the night and I go to the bathroom and I hear this. I'm like, what is that? And it was my heater running. I was like, what? I was like, maybe I bumped the thermostat way up or something walking by and just didn't realize it. So I went and the thermostat was down. So I said, well, maybe it just needs to reset. So I turned it up, turned it all the way down and then off. There's a little click where you can turn it off. And it just kept running and running. So there's like an emergency switch or something. I turned it off. But I got to deal with the furnace at some point. I think I'm going to do this year? I think instead of using gas to heat, I think I'm just going to use a little ceramic heater. When the collapse is coming, Kevin Costner's going to restart the postal service. Hey, do you remember one of the best actors ever, in my opinion, George C. Scott? He was the spokesman for the United States Postal Service. United States Postal Service, we deliver for you. He did that for years. MD is a bad word. El Brooks says there are nurses that are definitely indoctrinated and doctors. I would say, with few exceptions, they all are. I have a slot for unaddressed mail that drops into the recycle bin. Interesting. Good point, Randy. Good to see you, too. Computers were supposed to reduce paper usage, but has increased by factors, it seems. Yeah, he was great as Patton. I may sneeze, guys. Sorry about that. How many people saw the original 12 Angry Men with Henry Fonda? Very good movie if you haven't seen it. Anyway, they came out with a remake. And rethink. Let me get back to you on the email next. I had an email under Mr. Thrive and Survive, and then I forgot the password, and then Outlook, who I used, who I'll never use again, would not let me back in. They asked me like 20 different questions, seriously, about related things and whatever, and I didn't know a lot of it because, it was like, do you have a, what's that account where you can talk to people? Skype, that's them too. I was like, yes. But I hadn't been in Skype in years. Who do you talk to the most? I'm like, I don't know. Nobody. But anyway, they wouldn't let me back in. So I'm going to get a Gmail account. Yeah, that Jacob Law, that is a fantastic, I mean, even the story behind that was fantastic with how he was anti-Hollywood and all the bull crap with it. And he was nominated for Best Actor in that movie. And he was very open about it. He didn't care if he won it. It was all a bull crap and blah, 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 and politics and this, that, and the other. And so it's like the Academy that does it, they were like all butthurt over it. But anyway, his performance was so good that everybody voted for him for Best Actor. So when they opened up the envelope that night, most people don't know why she said this, but she said, and the Best Actor is, oh my God, George C. Scott for Patton. That oh my God was because of all the hoopla around it. And he said he wasn't even going to watch it. And when they contacted him, he didn't know he'd won it. He said, I didn't watch the Academy Awards. I was watching a football game. That's right. Patton did such a good job, they assassinated him. Allegedly. Did Patton say we defeated the wrong enemy? He said we were fighting on the wrong side. He's come to the conclusion that we have fought on the wrong side. We should have been fighting the communists. Sort of what we were talking about earlier with um, Stalin. Oh, yeah, he woke up and they killed him. Anyway, George C. Scott was in the remake of 12 Angry Men. And it's got some famous, at the time, older actors. Most of them have all died by now. The guy that was the main character in The Sopranos, he was in it. Tony Danza was in it. But you had Hugh Crone, Jack Lemmon, and a couple other famous actors. And George C. Scott was in it. It was probably the last movie he made, I would think. And so I decided to watch the remake. And of course, if you watch the remake, it's mostly like the first one, so it doesn't really surprise you. There's differences they put in, and there's different actors, so it's interesting. But in that second one, towards the end, George C. Scott does such a great performance that I actually had tears in my eyes. He was so good. So it's worth watching. It's worth watching both of them, in my opinion. Sticks. The Nazis are them. They waited to them still spill their blood. Yes, very famous. I remember when I first saw it, I loved the movie. My best friend, his name is Rob. He's the HVAC expert, by the way, that I know, that goes to Goddard Space Control Center and confronted him about the Hubble telescope. And everything he said was confirmed by them. Anyway, I was like, you got to watch this movie with me. And we had it on a video disc, these big old things. When videos first were put on anything, it was on this big, like, they looked like regular records, except they were like white in color, if I remember. But they were like a disc inside of a little box or something, and you would slide it in, and the disc would come out, and this record player would read it. But it was a good quality movie, just like a DVD or whatever. Maybe not quite as good, but it was good. And so anyway, I said, you got to watch this. And he's got a very, very strong sense of humor. And when he opened up with, I want you to remember, when he's talking to the army, giving a speech, that no bastard ever died. No bastard ever won a war by dying for his country. He won it by making the other poor dumb bastard die for his country. Oh my God, he cracked up so loud. Anyway, he loved the movie too. Anna, you remember those discs? Yeah, when I didn't know anything about it. I got out of the Navy, and my mother's got this video disc player. I'm like, what's a video disc player? I didn't even know what a video disc was. And she said, I'll show you. She actually got me, I was into the Beatles. She got me Let It Be. That was cool. That was on there. But I was exposed to some really good movies there. On Golden Pond, one of my favorite movies. That was on. She had that. She got that from my grandmother because she liked Henry Fonda. Yeah, that's how I was first exposed to it. Yes, Pat wanted to go after the Russians. Yes. Then in Korea, some military wanted to nuke China. Yeah. You're right, Iron. Yes. Well, you talk about weird stuff that was going on. Laser discs. I don't know if they were laser discs or not. They might have been carbide. Henry Fondler. He was fantastic in On Golden Pond, though. I think he won Best Actor for that. You saw Jaws, one of those used discs. Budapest. We're here with a bunch of vampires and parasites who love to see us suffer. Good way to put it. Parasites. I like it. Betamax. My cousin Jimmy, he was always wrong. always, until he hit it right. But that's a different story. If he said it was going to rain tomorrow, it was going to be sunny. You could go fishing or crabbing, like we used to go crabbing, 5 times in a row, no problem. You go out with him, you have the worst rough seas you'd ever have or whatever, and you couldn't catch anything. It was just, he was bad luck. And I remember my mother wanted to get either Beta or VHS. And she asked me, she said, which one do you think is going to last, Beta or VHS? I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. So I said, but I'll tell you an idea in a minute. So I got on the phone, called my cousin Jimmy. I said, Jimmy, do you have any idea which one do you like, Beta or VHS? Beta. Beta's going all the way, not VHS. It's Beta. It's like, okay, thanks. Hung up the phone to my mother. Get VHS. And of course, that's what stuck around. But he was also, like I said, he was always wrong until he came up with a game. He was always into military games and stuff like that. And when computers came out, he developed these games for computers, war games. Talonsoft was the name of the company, Talen, Talonsoft. And he became a multimillionaire with it. And I remember my other cousin, his brother, Kevin, and his other brother, Greg, they were creators of music. They mostly did other people's music, but they played out and stuff like that. And he went to them and said, I want you to come up with a theme song for Talonsoft that opens up. And they said, what do you have in mind? He goes, listen to this. And it was the theme from Patton. And they were just awestruck. They're like, we can't come up with something like that. That's amazing. So they never did, but I don't know what he eventually used. But that's what he wanted. He had an 8-track player. Yeah, you know what? This car I just got, a 1999 Lexus LS 400. And it's got a CD. Not a CD. It's got a cassette deck and the radio thing. Eventually, one day, if I replace anything, it'll be that. It'll replace the radio. Not because it's got a cassette deck, because I don't use anything else, but I want my phone to be able to connect to it so I can play whatever's on my playlist through the speakers in the car. Some of you have not hit the thumbs up yet. Good count, Stanley. I can't see any thumbs up at all, but I'm glad you're keeping an eye on it. We made a little side money fixing those 8 tracks. How many people are still making money off of taking everything? 8mm film, 16mm film, whatever you have, 8 tracks, whatever, and converting it over to modern digital stuff. Pugsley said, did some research about the MSO, got to reduce inflammation and joint pain, but in certain dosages over so many weeks. Alters eye lens and causes myopia vision and eye clouding. So research that first. Wow, thanks, Pugsley. I've already got myopia, so I don't want it to be worse. I don't need progressive myopia, that's for sure. I definitely don't need eye clouding. 45 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down. 2 people like the government, DCM. That's what it is. See, there's 163 people. So 45 thumbs up, that's probably 40, I don't know how many people are at each site. My guess is we have about 110 on Mr. Thrive and Survive. Go to Wake the Republic. Try to get used to going there because this channel is disappearing, guys. 2 strikes down, 1 to go. The boxes of my family 16. I have 2, Danny, and I lost some, unfortunately. John Levy is amazing. Great and interesting channel. Good to know. I don't know who he is, but take your word for it. How have you been, DCM? When is that recall happening? You're in California, right? So is Pugsley. I guess I can look it up, huh? And is California recall election? September 14th. Newsom supporters outraised California recall backers ahead of election. Betting markets swing in favor of Governor Newsom as California. Of course. According to betting website Predicate, I wouldn't support you, CNBC, if you cured cancer. I'm sorry. Nothing that has NBC in it. Oh my God. I can't read it because maybe I can continue without supporting. It's going to let me. All right. According to this predicted, whoever they are, last week California Governor Newsom reached his strongest position for staying in office since early July. Recent polls among likely voters in the recall election have swung in Newsom's favor. Oh, what a surprise. You mean the system can't fix itself? The broken system can't be fixed? The election is scheduled for September 14th. The campaign to recall Gavin Newsom lost so much momentum in the past month that bettors are now saying there's over an 85% chance that the effort fails. 85%. Oh my God. Auto hoax. All elections now useless. 100% agree. Trump won in the biggest landslide in history, and America seems to have let it just slide. I could not agree more. And all I keep hearing is people are waking up. Biden's approval is now below 50%. And so was Carter's, so was Nixon's, so was Reagan's at first, so was George H.W. Bush, so was George W. Bush, so was Bill Clinton. So was Trump. I don't know about Obama. He probably skewed that enough to where you never would tell. In fact, I think I do remember at one point Obama's was negative too. Means nothing. And just wait till all the stuff comes out, Rich. People are going to see that it was, something happened that shouldn't have happened back then. All the polls, YouTube, all the polls say a plurality of Americans believe something happened anyway. What's going to change if more believe it? I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I've heard that Trump is going to announce he's running in 2024. Well, he won't have my vote, as if there will be different results. That's right, Vintage. He will not have my vote. He's at 43%. Thank you, Mark. And you know what? After all the Afghanistan news goes away, Biden's numbers will start clicking up. Whether it's true or not, who knows? Even that's not true. I don't believe he ever had more than 50% approval, although it shows that he had, 60 or close to 60%. That's right. All you have to do, the proof is in the pudding with the videos, YouTube videos of Biden. Let's see if we can find Biden press conference. You have to actually change the numbers. They're so negative. Let's see. CNBC, liberal. So you don't think I'm making this up. And I don't want to give misinformation, YouTube, ever. Biden delivers remarks after deadly Kabul attack. 878,000 people saw it. 4.4 thousand liked it. 18,000 didn't like it. This man could wrap his own presents and still be surprised on Christmas. If I were Trump, all the media would have attacked Trump and massacred him. Oh, if it were Trump. Remember, Joe Biden was not elected. He was installed like a toilet. I'm just reading comments, YouTube, that's on your YouTube channel. He technically killed those 13 people and wanted to blame it all on Trump. Well, I thought Trump was in charge of the military. Isn't that what we're told? The Patriots are in total control. Patriots control the military, and Trump's in control of the military. That's what we've been told. So whose fault is it? I'm just asking a question. We will not forget. Also, Biden, when asked about people falling from airplanes, whatever that is. The government you elect is the government you deserve. Thomas Jefferson. They didn't elect. Well, I can't go into that. I watched 60 seconds of this pathetic shill. I can't bear to watch anymore. How dare he disgrace his country by standing there spewing nonsense. He runs on 12% all the time. Supposed to keep him plugged in till charged fully. Having him as president is like being inside a comedy show. This is one of the most embarrassing and saddest moments in our military history. We have folks stealing our equipment and helicopters like a video game, and we lost more of our precious and prized possession. See, this doesn't matter to people unless you happen to be the father, brother, son, daughter, mother of one of these people killed. I hate these people that are like, well, this is necessary. It's war. Really? Unless it's your kid. Shut up. It's amazing to me that people can't empathize with somebody else's loss. It's okay because it's war. No, it's not okay. Not if it's your son. Not if it's your father. Not if it's your sister. Not if it's your brother. Not if it's your aunt. Not if it's your grandmother or your mother or your son. Whatever. You're going to get me on a ramp. I get myself on a ramp. Yeah, but that was that you know, the plurality Americans know. This is a liberal network, CNBC. 18-4, dislike to like. Let's go back. CNBC, Washington Post. Doesn't get more liberal than this. What do we got here? 3.5K up, 6.9K down. And I guarantee you these numbers are skewed because we've seen it where they've changed the numbers because they're so bad. They're so bad they pulled them off the White House feed. They've actually taken the numbers off the White House feed. NBC News. Again, does it get more liberal? 9.6K up. 9,600 up. 20,000 down. First comment, pretty scary when you realize he had 2 months to rehearse this and it was still a train wreck. The guy is a train wreck. And Trump said this has got to be fixed in 2021. Not 2022 or 2024. He said that over and over. Well, we got about 3 months and 3 weeks left of 2021. You think I'm going off now? Wait till January 1st happens. If everything's still the same, I'll really get cynical then. To me, they would, Pugsley. Would a real, true president of the people reveal flat, stationary Earth? I would think so. If someone really, truly was for the people, you wouldn't hide anything. And I don't buy this crap. Well, people would commit suicide and this, that, and the other if they knew what their government was really doing. Well, if we knew what their government was really doing, there'd be, even with the suicides, there'd be less people dying because they're killing people. Half, over half. This is mainstream media news, YouTube. Over half of the children coming into the country illegally are gone, trafficked. They don't know where they are. Over half. Yeah, Leo, most turn off comment. I hit 2 of them as I was looking. I had no comments. Let's get the ultimate. Where's MSNBC? Now, Fox News, I would expect, even though Fox is trash, it's just not as. Oh, they just have like or dislike. They turned it off. So much for Fox News. They won't even show you the like to dislike. ABC News. Here we go. Oh, this is one that's bullcrap. 471,000 plus. Oh, wait a minute. This is not. This is not even. This is a live stream. Bumbling Biden gets lost on the way to White House after ignoring Secret Service agent. People elected a senile, bumbling old man, frail old man. They really didn't, but that's what we're supposed to believe. Yeah, Brooks. I'm not. I used to be well informed on everything. I can't stomach it. It's. I feel so much better even not knowing. $3.95 PRS. There are so many checks and balances in the amount of people that have to sign up for these elections in Afghanistan. You're right. This has to be fixed now. Yeah. Missouri battle flag. Hilarious. I have the White House on my news feed. Her YouTube. 10,000 thumbs down and a couple of thumbs up. The blood of these young men are upon him. But who are they upon? The Patriots are in total control, according to the X-22 report. The military is in control. But I still think I don't know. I'm waiting for the opposite to happen, but I still think we're being strung out, time-wise. Remember, the big news was from the pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He had the proof. 9-0 was his video. 9-0, meaning the Supreme Court was going to get together, and I called this right on the night it came out on the stream, that it was bullcrap. And how did I know it was bullcrap? Because he said what's going to happen is the Supreme Court is going to get together in August and rule 9-0 that Trump won the election, and then he'll be installed in August. And I called bullcrap right out because the Supreme Court doesn't meet in August. They're on recess until September. They go to June something, and then July, August, for the most part, they're off. Stop watching X-22. Yeah, I did it the other day, L. Brooks, a week or so ago. I talked about it on the stream just to see if he had evolved some. Not one step. Still in the same Looney Tunes thought pattern that he had 3-4 years ago. But the good news, there's good news. The good news is God wins, and I think he's going to win soon. I just don't think it's going to come by Trump, and I don't think it's going to come by the Patriots being in control. Yeah, I agree with you, Al Brooks. But see, it's broken. You got the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, who was as corrupt as George H.W. Bush. So you got the Supreme Court, and what? It was only him. It was only Clarence Thomas and Alito. They're the only two that even wanted to look at anything with the election. Everybody else, no standing. The person that lost the election didn't have standing. A whole state didn't have standing. Several states didn't have standing. Corrupt. How many of the lower courts wouldn't even look at it? No standing or whatever technicalities. They didn't want to look at it. You didn't learn that the judicial system was screwed up then. You're never going to learn it. How about the legislatures? They're not necessarily screwed up, but they're wimps. They set the laws, and then they let the attorney generals or secretaries of state or the governors change it. And then they don't do anything about it. And when they try to, like here in Arizona, you have an attorney general. They subpoena these people. They deny the subpoena, and the attorney general's like, yawn. I'm not arresting anybody. No penalties. So the legislatures, they're all corrupt. The AGs are corrupt. The system is corrupt. All the way up to what? Pence agreed to it, didn't he? Corrupt. Trust Pence, remember? Yeah. That's my point, Vintage. Very good. Thank you for that. It's so far gone now that it can't be fixed. You can't fix a broken engine with a broken engine. I don't know why people don't get that. They keep me and Mike Ball fight over this. I mean, we argue over it. And I texted him the other day, because he'll send me positive stuff, and I'm glad to see it. I want it to happen. I just don't think it will. I hope it happens, but logically, I don't see it. So I finally said, what's the definition of insanity? Because we got to talking about governments in general. Governments in general don't fix problems, they create problems. What did Biden say? America is doomed. It's all over the internet. Never heard that. There was evidence to be shown us whatever happened to it. They went back to work within hours of the 6th just to ignore evidence. They've been, God love him, Mike Lindell's been doing a fantastic job exposing absolute truth. But where are you going to take it? That's my point. We all know what happened. If you watched what happened that night, if you were on my stream that night, I called it live at 12:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, roughly. I called it live. I said, this is what's happening in these states. And I pointed at the states. Everybody knows. Everybody, Democrats know. A lot of Democrats know. The majority of Republicans, vast majority of Republicans know. And a good majority of independents know. All in all, I think it's close to 60% of the people know. All right? I mean, you can't get 60% of the people to agree that it's daylight. What is going to happen if you push it to 70? Where do you go with it? You're going to take it to the Supreme Court again? If they didn't look at it the first time, why are they going to look at it now? What changed? That's right, 395 PRS. Bottom line, they are getting paid off. And don't mention Pence. That dude is as corrupt a traitor as it gets. Remember, he also got a white letter at Bush Senior funeral. Yeah. Jacob Law, I agree. Biden is definitely not real. It's not the real Biden. And that's even worse because the media knows it's not the real Biden. They sat there and saw the obvious, what we could see on camera, the obvious mask line. They were how many feet away from Kamala Harris? She's not real either. With the holes in the neck. I mean, literal holes. We showed the picture of it. And yet they don't report on it. Remember that one thing where he had the black spot on his hair one day? It's like it's almost like what they do with NASA. They mock us. How much can we get away with without them saying anything? There's this black round spot on his head, and I thought it was just somebody did a photo shoot on Photoshop, and then I saw the video. He was actually moving. There it was. I'm like, oh my. That's right, Albroth. People will think you're crazy. I have a son who thinks I'm crazy. Okay. It's like, here's all the proof you need. People's ears, if they're attached, they don't later become unattached, or if they're unattached, they don't later become attached. Biden's right ear was always detached. Now it's attached. It doesn't happen. It's good as a fingerprint. So we have, I don't even have to tell you that the media is corrupt, do I? But if it's an authority figure, it's truth. If it's the government, it's truth. If it's the CDC, it definitely is truth. If it's the WHO, it definitely is truth. If it's a doctor, it's definitely truth. If it's the mainstream media, they're telling you the truth. The shape of a man's head is different. You can't reshape your head. I agree. No doubt about it. Science. Nobody does science. Nobody does science. But they'll say we're wrong because we actually have to go out and do the science. Simon Dan, the professor, all these bullcrap artists, Neil deGrasse Tyson, all they are is paid actors. Or Bill Nye, the anti-science guy, never did anything science in his life. You ever see the stupid thing he did with how you know the Earth is round? And he had a train on a track that was curved like this, and a camera down there at the bottom. As the train went away, it disappeared over the curve. Said, "This is what we see in real life." Like, hello, have you ever studied perspective? Yeah, you can curve it, but we can take a perfectly flat, and people have track or whatever, do the train thing, you get the same result. Looks like it disappears. You go deep enough. Yeah, Bill Nye's an actor. Selective science versus balanced science. They don't even do so. They don't do science. It's like the Bible says, science so called. Is Hunter Biden arrested or missing? I don't think he's either. He's definitely not arrested. Nobody's arrested. Nobody's arrested. Not unless you can show me. Show me them behind bars. Show an attorney general showing up with the FBI like they did with Roger Stone. We saw that on film, didn't we? CNN was right there, Johnny on the spot. Show me Hillary. Show me Hunter Biden. Show me any of these demons behind bars. Show them being detained. Well, you don't understand, Rich. What they do is they show up with vehicles. I fell for this. They show up with vehicles that aren't police vehicles, and they pull up beside them and say, we're not going to make a scene unless you want to, but you're under arrest, and they just comply and get into the van and they drive off. That's why we've never seen it. Fine. You're supposed to, whenever anybody's arrested, that's public knowledge. It's supposed to be posted. Where is the postings? Somebody would have come across it. We have a lot of investigative people. Avengers won. Then he lost their family because of trust the plan. I was seeing this. I was reading through comments the other day on something like that. Some guy said, I hope they come out soon because I'm close to getting divorced over this plan. Yeah, you got it, Auto Hoax. Experts agree. Yeah, right. Experts rarely ever agree. Even 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10 dentists recommend Crest. Why? Because 9 out of 10 are getting kickbacks from Crest. Yeah, they're all. Yeah, I showed the picture earlier. Let me pull it up again. They're all wearing the ankle bracelets. Yeah. Not for long. Not for long. Where is this? Here we go. This is Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin. See their feet? Ain't no ankles on those feet. There are no arrests. Until you can show me otherwise, I 100% agree. Al Brooks, there's a lot of people. I don't know who's missing. Staley says, has anyone ever heard Simon Dan answer a legit question with, because physics says so, science says so, without explaining the how, of course. He's very good at reading history of science. That's it. He wouldn't know the scientific method if it slammed him on the side of his square head. Mrs. Marks says, is that a current photo? Does anybody know what, I know what this is, but I can't think. See that symbol there, GP? What is that? That's a news outlet, but I can't think of who it is. GP. Because I wanted to look that up. You know what? Let me just look up Hillary Clinton and see what comes up. What, Charlie? What do you want, honey? I'll be off in a minute. Now, can I do this by date? Let me see. Hold on. Tools, time, past week. Past week, 5 days ago. There's the answer. Let me share this with you. Asked and answered. How's that? If I can get it. $5 days ago. Here it is, 5 days ago. 4 days ago. 4 days ago. Doesn't look like a duplicate to me. 4 days ago. 4 days ago. Now this isn't 4 days ago. Or is it? Maybe it is. It looks familiar to him, though. Here's 5 days ago. So someone published it 4 days ago, someone 5 days ago. Hillary Rodham Clinton, State of Terror, Times of India. 1 day ago. Oh, that's a stock photo, though. Anyway, some of these are stock, but they could have been just uploaded. Here's another picture. This is 5 days ago. Yeah, it looks like the old hag. No ankle bracelet there. Secret Service protection. Can't stand even looking at her. Maybe someone else brought the rights. The HRC. Maybe it is Global Press. We found it, though. It doesn't matter. Yeah, no mask, Mrs. Marks. They should, you know, I don't know why they don't go by CDC guidelines. Neither does Gavin Newsom. That's wrong. None of these elites die from the coronavirus. Now, only ones that are out of the limelight, like Dawn Wells, Marianne, she was 80. They said she died from complications of coronavirus. What does that actually mean? I don't know. HRC has several body doubles. Yeah, but usually you can pick them out. That looked like her to me. You think your mom was the Hillary Clinton was defective? Oh, thanks, Stanley. If you could see him looking at me right now, if I can get him to keep doing it, I'll take a picture. Hold on. It's going to be a little dark, I think. Let me see if I can lighten it up a little. Scrunch it down on him so it tries to make it bigger. That's him looking at me right now. It's his I want something look. Yeah, she does look bad. That's why I think it's her. I think the doubles always look better. They have made Cankle bracelets big enough for a Hillary. Reminds me, my cousin, I worked with him at a job, and there was this girl, and unfortunately she had fat ankles. She wasn't fat, but she had fat ankles. And he wasn't very political. So one day I was like, I can't believe they're going to do NAFTA. This was when Bill Clinton was in office. He said, what's that stand for? No ankle found? He started calling her NAFTA. I was like, what? I was like, no ankle found. Yeah, Hillary and Nancy probably to be 120 because the bloodstream is only like 8 years old, if you know what I mean. Bill's height changed from staying next to him. Yeah. If you look at there was a double at the inauguration. It was definitely. The moment I saw Hillary, I was like, "That's not her." The hair wasn't right. The hair came out differently. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I'm getting all sniffly on you guys, and we've done 3 hours. So we did pretty good. I want to thank all the subscribers who support the channel. Thank you very much. You blessed me more than you know. I got some contributions through PayPal. And if you do PayPal, say it's to a friend, and there's no fees, just to let you know. But God bless each and every one of you, and all the Patreon subscribers and other ways people also support this channel. You all supported well in the chat. I thank you so much. Charlie looks so much like my dad's dog, Malachi. It was my dog, but I went to college and my dad discovered he was a fabulous dove dog. Oh, cool. Very cool. Charlie would only be a good rabbit dog. He loves to go after rabbits. Everything else he kind of shies away from. Vander, you take care well. Sleep well too, Jay. Good night, L. Brooks. Carbide, yeah, it is bedtime. Thank you back for more. Thank you very much, Mark. Yeah, I would greatly appreciate your prayers that I don't come down with full-fledged COVID here. I think I'm going to be okay. Like I said, I'm taking enough oregano oil to kill a moose. Literally. I mean, I'm taking a lot. I'm going to take some soon to get off of here, too. But I do have more than just allergies. It's different, I can tell. So, anyway. God bless. Take care. And if everything works well, we'll be back on Wednesday. Right? No holiday that day. All right. Take care, guys. Have a great night and a fantastic next couple of days. See you then. Bye-bye.